My girlfriend asked for my permission to sign up for a sugar baby website, just chatting, to pay her bills. I set up rules for her, but after discovering the truth on her laptop, I was fuming. Now, she's begging me to take her back, saying she'll never forgive herself and will prove how sorry she is. But I can't trust her anymore. My now ex, 23F, cheated on me, 25M, after almost 3 years of being together. It's been about a year now, and I'm typing and sharing this story to finally move on. So, if you decide to read this story, expect it to be a long one. First, a bit of backstory. We met through a mutual friend of ours and we instantly hit it off. When we first started talking, I was nearing the end of my Marine Corps career after my last deployment while I was home on leave. When I went back after leave, we talked every day, all day, and all she ever talked about was when I would finally get out and we'd be able to see each other on a regular basis. Finally, when I got out, we officially started dating and everything was going great. She got along with my family and I with hers. About 2.5 years later, she asked me if she could get an online sugar daddy, in a joking way. I just brushed it off, kind of annoyed. Another week later, she asked again, this time with a more serious tone. I just want to say that the girl I dated before her, I will admit I was the controlling type. Long distance didn't do that relationship any good, it was 100% my fault. I would get worried that she was cheating while I was 4 states away, but I promised myself in the next relationship, I wouldn't be like that again. I told her I was very uncomfortable with it and asked why she wanted to do this. She told me, having to pay for college and other expenses was overwhelming her and it would be nice to have extra income. She worked often, but I sort of got where she was coming from. I know I'm an idiot, and also really didn't want to be controlling. I told her I'd be okay with it but not happy about it. She was willing to compromise with me, seeing how uncomfortable I was, and asked me if I wanted to put rules for her to follow. I thought about it overnight, and I came up with, 1. Don't tell them her real name, 2. No pictures of herself, and 3. Do not add them on any social media. She asked me if I wanted to have access to her Kik account. I admit I snapped back at her, stating why, when you know I'm uncomfortable with this whole thing, would I want to see it all go down? She understood, and it was never brought up again. Over the next 2 months, everything was fine and I either forgot about it all or my brain didn't want to remember, and I made plans to propose to her. I even bought a ring for her. Before I could pop the question, I started noticing little things like her being buried in her phone and turning her phone away from me while we were laying down together. One night, while she slept over at my apartment, she left her laptop open in my living room at around 2:30 a.m. while she was sleeping. I snooped. I know, shush. Her Kik was open in one of the tabs, so I started scanning through the multiple messages and she broke both rules 1 and 2, full nude photos, lingerie photos, that I bought her, and started every conversation with hi, I'm, her name. Needless to say, I was fuming. I noticed her FB was open in another tab, so I looked at the messages on that and found out she broke rule 3 as well and even met up with at least 2 of them. She still claims that she never even kissed any of them. My ass. After seeing all of this, I just needed to leave. I couldn't be in the same room with her, so at around 2:45 a.m., I left my own home and drove. Before I noticed, I was 4 hours away and the sun was coming up. Knowing she had an early class in the morning, she was going to be blowing up my phone soon wondering where I was, but I knew she would have to leave my app soon, so I started heading back. I was right, she texted and called asking where I was. I never answered. I guess I left the laptop open in my rage because she texted me, I'm so sorry I messed up, can we please talk when I get out of class? When I got home, she was gone. I replied to her text, I need time, give me space. I started drinking heavily, whiskey was my choice. I got really drunk and passed out. When I woke up, I looked at my destroyed apartment and just went back to sleep. About a week passed before I heard from her. She sent me a text that was the size of a Harry Potter book. Summed up, it said she's sorry, she deleted/blocked everyone that she was talking to, like that's supposed to make me feel better, she doesn't want to split, and that we should try couples counseling. For me, it was over the moment I found out. I still loved her, but a different kind of love, not the type a couple should have, but love like I hope you do well in life, but I don't want to see your face anymore. I wanted the breakup to be healthy, so I responded back, I am willing to go to counseling, but as of right now, we are both single. This relationship is over, but if you need this to be your closure, that's fine. She accepted, and a week or so later, we started online counseling. Thank God it was online. Due to COVID, I didn't think I could be in the same room as her. The first 2 sessions were individual, and the therapist asked a simple question that kind of caught me off guard. What do you want from these sessions? My mind went blank. It took me a second to get the words out that I just want her to get the closure she needs so I can get over this relationship. To be completely honest with all of you, I don't believe in therapy. If it has helped you with whatever you're going through, that's great, I'm happy for you. but I just don't believe talking to a stranger that tries to break everything down Barney style helps. Every Thursday for 3 months, we all would meet up online and just talk about the same thing over and over, and only twice that I recall the therapist brought up what had happened. We mostly talked about everything prior to when things started to get sour. That and hearing the excuses, I would get visibly mad, according to the therapist, and she would ask me how I felt about what my ex had just said. I blew up, saying, "All I'm hearing is excuses. We've had a dozen sessions, and I have yet to hear why I was betrayed. We keep talking about how our relationship was before it all happened, but never when, in her mind, I didn't matter anymore. My ex just said she will never forgive herself for what she did and that if I take her back, she will prove to me every day how sorry she is." I asked her how I was ever supposed to trust her again. She had the nerve to tell me, "Unfortunately, you would just have to take the leap." I was dumbfounded when she said that. At a loss for words, the therapist decided to end our session there. At the very next session, the therapist told us that it would be our last session and that we just keep going over the same thing. I laughed at the thought of the therapist just giving up, but we both agreed. About a month later, my ex and I had exchanged our belongings. She had one of my uniforms from when I was in the Marines, a few hoodies, and other random things. I got a big box and decided to pack up everything she had ever given me: clothes, Christmas/birthday presents, pictures of us together, anything that had a hint of her. I decided to put the engagement ring in the box too. I don't know why I didn't just return it, but I wanted that sting of he was going to propose to really hurt her. She came to my apartment, sat down on my couch. I took the box she gave me to my bedroom and grabbed the box I had for her and walked it out to her car. All I said to her the whole time was thanks. Once I put it into her car, I walked back inside and left her there. Over the last year, she has tried to contact me, but I just ignore her calls, texts, and messages. I tried in this relationship, I really did. I worked on my problems I had in past relationships to try and become a better partner. In my past relationship, I was a bit controlling due to distance and having been cheated on before, so I loosened the reins, and it blew up in my face. I just can't find the happy medium. To everyone that made it this far, thanks for reading in the comments on the past posts. Also sorry for not responding to everyone. If you take anything away from this post, if your partner is going to do adult work, you need to have a crazy amount of trust. And if you're the partner that's doing the work, if your significant other sets out ground rules, have the respect to follow them. I know you guys are reading this going WTF, you're an idiot. In the moment she asked me, I had that crazy amount of trust in her to respect me, but of course, hindsight is 20/20. If you're in a situation like mine was, tread carefully. Thank you again for reading. Relevant comment. Did she ever admit to the two guys were the only ones, or were there more? Did she admit to full-on hooking up with the two guys? She never has told you why she broke all the rules? OP. She didn't say if it was just the two of them or not. I made the mistake of saying all I knew in the first session in therapy her and I had together, so I doubt that she wanted to admit to anything I didn't know. I seen the proof in pictures that they slept together, they shared back and forth in messages. All I heard was excuses, not a reason she did what she did. At this point I don't care why anymore. If she could do that to me after 3 years, it just showed me her true character. And although at times I miss what we had, I know there's no going back to someone that can be so heartless.